And you're going, okay. Hey, everybody, it's Mike from Here, the Watchmen. And, you know, we've been here at the conference. The conference is winding down. And one of the highlights of this entire conference for me, but not only for me, for everyone, was the fact that Henry Gruver was able to come and talk to everyone. Henry, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, Mike, it's been my pleasure.
It's such a blessing, brother. It really, truly is. What you've been to a lot of different conferences, and you're obviously the prayer walker out there to all of us.
Yeah.
What is your feeling about this conference?
Well, one thing I really liked is I felt very comfortable. I didn't have to wear what I called my monkey suit. Didn't need a tie or anything. It just looked casual. And after just coming from Japan, you wear a suit all the time there, you know, or anywhere in Asia. And to not have to have a suit on was nice. My casual clothes were all cleaned up, pressed and everything by my daughter in Arizona just before I got here. And so I was very comfortable when I heard casual, you know. And that blessed me. That blessed me. I enjoyed it. I loved the fellowship of the people. You know, I didn't get in trouble. I didn't really want people coming up to the table while the speakers were going right there. I didn't want to interrupt them or anything, but people just kept coming. And I found your people that come here are very hungry.
Yes.
They're hungry for the truth. They couldn't seem to get enough. I mean, every speaker, they were there. That amazed me. I mean, I never saw one place of a speaker that it was half full. It was always more than 3/4 full. And what few people were out mingling around, I could see that they had children or something, and yet they may have been not in the seats, but they were sitting all over on the steps. You know, another congregation was out on the steps, and that blessed me. It just really blessed me to the fellowship. The fellowship was so continuously precious. I never felt with anybody standoffish, you know. Everybody seemed to know everybody, and the love of God was just going all over. And among the speakers, I've been in conferences where the speakers are, I'm sorry if you're one of them and we've been with you, but they're so stuffed shirt. The moment they're done speaking, back to their room, and they never socialize or anything. I've watched your speakers are right out among the people all the time, and I think it's really neat. It's a good experience.
Well, thank you for that, Henry. You know, Russ Dizdar was here Friday night till 2:30 in the morning.
Really?
Praying with people and ministering to people.
Oh, my goodness.
And L.A. Marzulli was down here late one night. I mean, all of these guys, Pastor Bagley up early in the morning ministering to people. And you're right, they are hungry.
Hallelujah.
You know, Henry, you told an interesting story off camera. And I wonder if you could repeat that. We were talking about a journey that he's made before, and I didn't know this, and forgive me for not knowing everything about Henry.
Oh, well,
Gruver.
mercy. I don't even know everything about him.
But Henry did a lot of work with the Native American people in Phoenix, Arizona when he was there, which is near and dear to my heart because I was in Phoenix, Arizona once too. And he has a journey with Chief Joseph, I believe it was. Talk to me about that, if you will.
He's the head tribe. He's the head patriarch of the Northern Tribe, is what they called him. When he was 12 years old, the Trail of Tears was about to happen. And a colonel, a military colonel, made his grandfather aware trouble is coming because they were a very peaceful people in Oklahoma. Very peaceful Native Americans. But he said that I can see trouble coming, and they're going to begin putting all of you people, innocent or not, in reservations. So grandfather told Chief Peter Joseph, he told me this, told him, he said, go to Canada. Do not wear moccasins. Go barefooted. They won't know the difference between white man or Indian. Go barefooted and only travel at night. Do not travel in the day. Hide it in the daytime and travel at night. But keep going into the sun, so to speak. And he wound up in Canada, and he wound up clear over in Nova Scotia.
Wow.
And he began to be known as a mighty hunter as a teenager. He was a powerful hunter, and he became famous from Nova Scotia all the way across to the Bering Sea into Siberia. I heard about him. And so when I was at Anchorage Christian Center, Pastor Dick Struts back then, I'm going back to, 1980s, sometime in the 80s, okay? I was walking and praying Alaska, and the Lord called me to the Eskimos. And so I was up praying and walking with the Eskimos, and then I came down to Anchorage Christian Center to minister for Pastor Dick Struts. And a chief came, and he brought a coat for me from Chief Peter Joseph to gift me and thank me, and presented it to me there at Anchorage Christian Center. I think this would have been about 1989 by then. I'd been working Alaska for 4 years by that time, along with Wales and walking all over there too in England. But that coat, they had their own artwork on the back of it, and it had an arch, the words "Risen Warrior," because I had been dead in 1984, a few years earlier, and rose from the dead. And then they had the great eagle, and then they had underneath it, Henry walks with the Great Spirit. Hallelujah. And they presented that to me, and he says, anybody of the northern tribes from Nova Scotia all the way to the Bering Sea, if you wear this coat, the tribal people will take you in and honor you as a chief.
Wow.
From now on, you are a chief to us. Well, then I was humbled. I stood up there bawling. I've never got the video from that, but oh my. Well, anyhow, then a few years later, I'm up in Minto Village, which is above the Arctic Circle on the Yukon River. And I'm walking the village, and the whole front porch of this split-railed big A-frame house is full of Native Americans howling their mourning. And I walk up to them with my jacket on, and they see me. And the daughter of Chief Peter Joseph steps forward and says, Chief Henry, what are you doing in Minto Village? I said, I'm walking and praying it. I understand Chief Peter Joseph resides here. She said, in this house, but he's dying. I said, oh no, he's dying. She said, yes. I said, could I pray for him? She said, he's asked to be alone because the Great Spirit is coming, Jesus, and he's going to take him. And he said goodbye to all of us, and we just came out from his last words, and we promised to leave him be. And so I said, well, is it okay if I walk around the house and just circle the house and pray for protection in his passing? Oh, please do. Please do. So I'm walking around the house. I get 3/4 of the way around. All of his Alaskan Huskies, his sled dogs that he'd had for years, are howling. They're mourning.
Right.
They are howling. And I say, shh, quiet. Your master is about to pass over. And they look at me and they just sit down. Total silence.
Man.
And some of them were looking around the corner of the porch and saw that. And that word went. And these poor Native Americans almost ran up to me, bowing to me. we have heard and heard about you for years. You love the native people. And I've said, yes, I do. Well, is it working?
Yes, hey, could I get you to bring my power cord over here to me?
Oh, your battery's getting
Yeah,
low.
I'm sorry,
on
folks.
pause. That's all right.
My battery's.
Hey, all of us have
you
our.
know what? It's not in here. That's okay. We'll just keep going here. So,
Okay, we're recording.
yes, we're recording.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So then after that, I was scheduled to walk and pray Koktovik. So I came back to Fairbanks and caught my flight to Koktovik. That's the northernmost Eskimo village in the North American continent. You can't go any further than that. You go further, you go to the North Pole.
Right.
And it's just on the upper end of the Arctic Ocean. And that's where I'd mentioned last night. There were 68 polar bears there. I didn't get to this point. I had an appointment before I left in Fairbanks to attend in the Native American Council Center, a meeting to speak to the Native American tribal people. And so I had to be back I was up there walking 6 days. So that afternoon of the 7th day, I had to be there by 3 o'clock. I get up, if you call it the next morning, but it never got dark that time of year. It's the midnight sun, And I get up the next morning. I'm sleeping at the chief's house. He's got me at his house. He's trying to hang on to me. He's afraid I'm going to get eaten by a polar bear. I'm a crazy white man. And I get up and he says, you don't fly out today. I don't fly out. We don't go to the council in Fairbanks. I said, why? Did they cancel? He says, no, ice fog. Could be here 12, 14 days. Nobody fly in, nobody fly out. Don't even de-icers, not good enough for ice fog. Ice to accumulate so fast, you go in the Arctic Ocean, polar bears eat you. Everything polar bears eat you. And I said, but I told him I would be there, and I've never missed an appointment in my life. And he says, you're going to miss this one. Chief, you're going to miss this. Call me. Here's Chief calling me Chief. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm packing my bags, my suitcase, my backpack, and I'm going to the little hut, 8 feet by 10 feet. That was the radio operator and everything. But for the airport.
That's the airport. Yeah.
Comes in out of the Arctic Ocean. And I go there and I have my ticket. And I said, I have a ticket for Fairbanks. And he said, ice fog, no flight today, maybe 14 days, no flight. Nobody come in. I said, but I have a ticket. He said, I don't care if you have 10,000 tickets. Nobody fly out today. I said, but you know what it means to be at the tribal council, how important it is. I need to be there. He says, you will not be there. You cannot get through the pass of the Brooks Range fast enough. It'd take you 3 days by dog sled just to get over the Brooks Range down to the Air Force Base. And they don't fly citizens. You know that. And I said, yeah, I know. So I said, well, hey, has the plane that was going to land here, where did it come from? He says, it left from Nome a few minutes ago. I said, where's it at? He said, I don't know. But I told him ice fog. I said, get him on the radio. Get him on. He says, what for? I says, I have a ticket. He says, I tell you, I don't care if you have 10,000 tickets. No flights today. I said, get him on. Get him on. I don't want him going through the pass. So he works it over and the captain answers back and says, yes, is everything all right? And this man says, I have American white man here. He says he has ticket. And the captain says, well, but you told me you have ice fog. Oh, we do. It's socked in heavy. It'll be many days. And he said, well, I'm not landing on ice fog. I've flown for over 30 years in the Arctic. I know what ice fog is. I'm not going there. It wasn't in Nome, but I know how it socks in up there on the Arctic Ocean. And I said, give me that microphone. And I grabbed the microphone like this. Says, Captain, I have a ticket. I must be in Fairbanks by 3 o'clock today. Now answer me a question. Did you take on enough fuel to land in Koktovik? He said, yes, I did, but I was notified, ice fog. I said, I have a ticket. I said, will you do this for me? Will you promise me you will come and circle Koktovik at least 3 times up there? If the ice fog does not clear, I release you to go through the Brooks Range. They're laughing. Pilot, co-pilot. He has a ticket. He thinks what's he going to do with ice fog? That stuff doesn't clear. We don't have wind up here that blows fogs away. They're mumbling. I said, sir, you haven't answered me. I'm waiting. Oh, he says, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were still listening. I'd love it to have it recorded. They're laughing at me. And I said, will you do that? He says, well, I have the fuel and it's in my flight plan. I won't violate that. I'll circle 3 times, but I'm not coming down in ice fog. I said, I don't expect you to, but circle 3 times. I'm going to walk the runway. And the poor radio operator says, you don't want to go out that runway. There's polar bears on both sides. They will eat you. I said, I've been walking among them 6 days. I'm not worried about polar bears. And they're still hearing this on the plane. And these guys are talking and laughing, the chattering that's going on that plane. So they have an introduction to me. And so I head out, and he's standing outside his little hut watching me. And he says, you're going to be eaten by polar bear. I said, I didn't come here to be eaten by a polar bear. I'll rebuke him in the name of Jesus. And I walked all the way to the end of the runway. By the time I got to the end, he's making the first circle.